This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 751 of Horse Tip Daily. A different horse tip, a different equine topic, a different equestrian expert every day. Horse Tip Daily brings the world of equine knowledge to you, one day at a time. Today's tip is brought to you by Kentucky Performance Products. Simple solutions, scientifically proven. Greetings, horse people. Coach Jen here, and thanks for tuning in to Horse Tip Daily. Today's tip is brought to us by the Horses in the Morning's favorite thoroughbred racehorse, Mucho Macho Man. Well, actually, it's brought to us by Reeves Thoroughbred Racing. That's Dean Reeves and his manager, Finn Green. In this final installment of the four-part series on owning a racehorse, Dean and Finn provide some pointers to follow and some pitfalls to avoid. And we'll get right to it after this message from Kentucky Performance Products.
This Nutrition Minute is brought to you by Kentucky Performance Products, the company that simplifies your search for research-proven nutritional supplements at kppusa.com.
Did you know that easy keepers and horses on restricted diets are often at risk for vitamin and mineral deficiencies? Most easy keepers are maintained on hay, and some get a few handfuls of grain a day, and most of these horses get little to no green grass. Diets that don't include significant levels of green grass or recommended amounts of fortified concentrates just don't supply enough vitamins and minerals. Many horse folks don't realize that hay alone, even high-quality green hay, is not an adequate source of many vitamins. For example, when grass is cut and dried for hay, the vitamins quickly lose their potency. 70% of the vitamin E found in grass is lost in the first week after it is cut for hay. One way to ensure that your special needs horse is getting all the vitamins and minerals he needs is to add a vitamin and mineral supplement to his diet. A well-balanced supplement will provide the nutrients your horse requires without adding unwanted calories, starches, and sugars. Microphase, made by Kentucky Performance Products, is a vitamin and trace mineral supplement that bridges the gap in your feeding program. With Microphase, your horse receives adequate and balanced vitamin and mineral nutrition without unwanted calories or other ingredients. The minerals in Microphase have been chelated, a process that protects minerals during digestion and increases their absorption in the intestine. Microphase provides vitamins, such as vitamin E, in a natural form, so your horse receives optimal results from this supplement.
This Nutritional Minute has been brought to you by Kentucky Performance Products. You can find all of their terrific products at kppusa.com.
So here we are in the final installment of our four-part series on owning a racehorse, guys. So why don't we wrap it up with a list of sorts? Why don't you give us the top pointers and pitfalls that we should be keeping an eye out for?
Well, I'll give you the first one, and then I'll let Finn give you one. But I guess for me, it might be as a red flag when somebody says they have a deal for you.
Oh, ding, 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 ding. That's awesome.
You know, because I just don't think there's any deals in this horse business. So you gotta make your own way, and so I think that's probably it's hard things to learn, and so I guess that would be my first red flag.
So that really is the universal truth in horsedom. There are no great deals.
Right.
It doesn't matter. Racehorse, standardbred horse, walking horse, event horse, backyard pleasure horse. That's universal. It's still a red flag, even in the racing business.
Yeah, I mean, and I think you're going to buy horses that you have high hopes for, and sometimes for a multitude of reasons, it won't work out. And those things are very difficult to stomach and to pay for. But you've got to just accept them and move on. But there are you may think sometimes it's a great deal, but it may not turn out that way. But when somebody calls you and says, I got a great deal for you, I generally would think that's a red flag.
That's all. Number one for Dean. How about you, Finn?
I'd have to say that if you've been successful in another industry and you think you're going to be successful in the horse business, that's a red flag.
I think we was just talking about me. That was supposed to be general people, Finn.
Well, I mean, that's how our relationship started. I mean,
Yeah.
I just came at you that way, and it's so intoxicating to have had such a successful career in any other industry that you're considering getting into the horse business. And then this thing seems so simple, but yet it's so complex and it's got so many problems in it. The biggest red flag, I would guess I'd just sum that down into this. Get good advice.
Right. Well, which leads into what I was going to say, which is put some good people around you, because you've got to have a veterinarian that you can trust. You've got to trust your trainer, and I think those things are just critical to have people around you that can give you sound advice.
One of the things really that I bring to the table for Dean and Patty are all of my failures in the horse business and all of the problems.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I mean, you can't do, in order to minimize risk, I will have had to experience failure. And being around horses, I stay away from certain things, not just with the horse itself or the business deals in horses, but the people too. And you got to have somebody that helps you minimize risk. And if you minimize risk, you have then hopefully helped yourself maximize the opportunity for success. So you got to minimize risk.
Yeah, so if you come across somebody in the horse business, and this includes racing, that claims they've never failed, run the other way.
Yeah,
well, in a sense.
Because if you've never failed, you've never tried, or you cheated all the time. One of the two.
Yeah, or you're you're in denial.
Yeah, that's the most likely. But yeah, we've all got a bad case of the head in the sand thing. So, some fantastic advice for both of you there. For folks who ride horses and own race horses and need to get a job as an accountant, those all apply. So.
Well, I think for me that when I first decided to get into horse racing, I didn't set the bar too high. Although, I did say
it went up really fast, Dean.
Well, I did say that I would like to have a horse race in the Kentucky Derby, and so I didn't say that I had to win the Kentucky Derby. So that way it wasn't totally all the way to the top. But I think too that enjoy the races and enjoy the moment. You're not always going to finish first. You're going to have. I was in it quite a while before we got our first win. Which was Cause I Can, a horse and so it was probably a good 2 years and many races and many difficult times in races that you go and think you're going to run well and you finish last. And so it's some tough parts, but there's nothing will replace the time that you win those races and the excitement of it. And so, from my side, enjoy those moments when you get those. And don't get too low and don't get too high.
Yes, because I'm sure that's easy to do. You get on a winning streak and you feel as if you're unbeatable. You're on the top of the world, and then one goes lame, one goes onto a losing streak, and then your trainer runs off with his girlfriend to the Bahamas, and you better watch out.
Well, and I thought we got a dose of that real early with Mucho Macho Man when he ran in the Holy Bull as a 3-year-old. Coming off some really nice races as a 2-year-old, all the gurus and thought that we were certainly going to win that race, and we were the odds-on favorite. And I thought, well, they knew what they're talking about, and I had my speech prepared for the winner's circle and the whole thing, and we finished fourth. So I said, well, I'm not going to go through that again. I mean, this is a little tougher than you think. So you got to be prepared. And like I said, don't get too low with it, because there's another race, and you come back and 3 weeks later we won the next race. So it's just a great sport, but you got to be able to take it, the wins and the losses and the difficulties that come with it, and the excitement and the pleasures that come also.
There you go, and bring your friends along with you for the ride.
Absolutely. Got a lot of friends now, and I've got a lot of people that love going to the races. It's nothing like it. It's a great sport.
Excellent advice. Some great green and red flags for our listeners out there. You guys gave me some really, really interesting perspective on how the racing business works, and as much as anything, how the people in the racing business think. And I appreciate you stopping by and helping us out here on Horse Tip Daily. Thank you again. And folks, the links to Reeves Thoroughbred Racing and the Thoroughbred Breeders and Owners Association, as usual, will be on the horsetipdaily.com show notes page for this episode. And don't forget to go back and listen to the previous episodes with Dean and Finn and enjoy them. And thanks again, guys, and we'll talk again soon.
To listen to more tips about the business aspects of horse ownership or horse keeping, you can go to horsetipdaily.com and look for the topics drop-down menu on your left. If you like to keep up with Mucho Macho Man and the other lovely horses at the Reeves Thoroughbred Racing Stable, you can visit reevestr.com, or my favorite, you can go to Mucho Macho Man's Facebook page. He's a busy guy. Don't forget to support our sponsors here on Horse Tip Daily, because they make these podcasts possible. Today's sponsor has been Kentucky Performance Products. Please stop by the Horse Tip Daily Facebook page and let us know what you think of the tips you hear on the show. It's also a great place to tell us about topics you'd like to hear us cover on the show. You can subscribe to all the great shows on the Horse Radio Network through iTunes or Zune and get your horse podcasts automatically downloaded to your iPod, Zune, or MP3 player. You can also listen to the shows right on Facebook. The player's right there every day. I'll be back again tomorrow with another new expert and a different horse tip. Until then, go ride your horse! The Horse Radio Network and the Horse Radio Network hosts are not responsible for statements of guests or their opinions. Use your own judgment when listening to the tips provided by the experts on Horse Tip Daily.